So from the beautiful Yangshuo, if you've been to China before, odds are you've probably been here. It's one of the major stops on the China tourist trail, and when international travelers were able to come to China pre-COVID, this is one of the places that was pretty much always included on like a 2-3 week itinerary. I haven't been here before, so I'm making up for lost time. I come to you from my beautiful private balcony. Isn't this a stunning view here?
But let's recap a few steps. How exactly did I get here?
So the adventure started yesterday morning when I boarded the famous Li River cruise. So I am currently on the famous Li River cruise. It goes from Guilin to Yangshuo. It's about 4 hours. The views are beautiful, very striking, dramatic scenery. But the thing that is striking me the most about this little trip along the river is just the echo of that booming tourist industry that existed here pre-COVID. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bamboo rafts just discarded along the riverside.
And this is just a taste of what's to come in Yangshuo itself.
So since we are cruising on the Li River, I thought I'd get myself some Li River snails. These were actually from the river that we are currently sailing on, so I thought, why not? Let's have some snails for lunch.
They were nice, quite spicy and salty, but I have to admit I couldn't fully relax and enjoy them because I was so nervous I would miss the part of the cruise I was most excited for.
Which is the scenery on the back of the 20 renminbi note. Actually, I think I have my 20 renminbi note here. This 20 renminbi note, this scenery. This was one of the main reasons I wanted to do this river cruise. I wanted my photo with the 20 renminbi note in front of this exact scenery.
This shot is like a Yangshuo rite of passage. I mean, if you didn't get your selfie with the 20 renminbi note, did you even go to Yangshuo? Now it's finally my turn.
But the problem was the scenery on this cruise is very similar along the route, and there was quite a lot of confusion among the passengers about what was the actual backdrop. At one point there were people taking photos at the front of the boat, at the back of the boat. I wasn't really sure what scenery they were taking a photo of. It turns out I actually missed it. Literally the only reason I wanted to come on this cruise was to get this photo, and it turns out I've missed it.
But you know what they say, if you've got lemons, make lemonade. This scenery is so similar, I figured I'll still take my pics. I doubt anyone's gonna be paying that close attention to the background. Well, maybe they will be now.
Anyway, before long, we had arrived at our destination of Yangshuo, and it was time to disembark the boat. And when we did so, we were swarmed by so many vendors asking if we wanted a minibus. But according to my map, my hotel was only about 800 meters from the wharf, so I decided to just walk, and that brought me to where I am right now, my hotel. Check out how beautiful this room is. Got a tub, lovely big bed, and check out this nice view.
The advantage of coming to Yangshuo right now is I'm getting my pick of the accommodation at the cheapest prices. This place here was about $50 US per night, and it's gorgeous.
This is just so peaceful and beautiful and chill. And I just booked this hotel kind of blind. It was the first thing that came up on booking.com, and it had a good price, so I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And I was kind of expecting it to be in like the touristy area because I just assumed that's where everything is. But this is definitely not touristy. The only thing I can really see are people working in the fields. I'm gonna hit the Yangshuo town center and see what that's all about. It was along this way that I really started feeling the impacts of lack of tourism here in Yangshuo. There's this one road where there are all these empty stalls. There was actually only one vendor still operating on this road, and I ended up buying a t-shirt because I felt so bad for her. But heading into the main town area, it was the same thing, like no one there, and it felt, I have to say, it felt really eerie actually, like an actual ghost town. Because I've been to towns that don't have many tourists before. That's not the weird thing. The weird thing is this town was built for tourists. So there's a lot of big name brands. There's an Adidas, a Nike, a Starbucks, a beautiful Starbucks built into this beautiful pagoda. It was probably one of the most beautiful Starbucks I've seen. So that's something in itself. It just feels weird because there's like no one here to buy the things, to eat at the restaurants. The restaurants are all empty. And like, I have no comparison because this is my first time in Yangshuo. But actually what I might do is I might give my parents a call because they've actually been here to Yangshuo before. My mum has actually been here twice. So I'm interested to see what she thinks of what it looks like now. Hey Mom, I'm in Yangshuo and I want to see what you think of it. So I'm going to flip around the camera because I think, like, I have no way of knowing because this is my first time in Yangshuo, but I think it probably looks very different to how it was when you were here. So I think this is the main street.
Gosh.
And then you've got all of these shops and like massage parlors that are completely empty.
Oh my God. When we were there, you couldn't move. Whether it was, 7 in the morning or 11 o'clock at night, it was multiple people.
Yeah, it's different. Like there's definitely not wall to wall. Do you remember anything that you ate here when you're in Yangshuo?
Only thing really I remember was beer fish. It was signs everywhere, every restaurant, beer fish, beer fish, beer fish. I really liked it. It was really good. It was a very bony fish because it was a whole fish, but it was very, very tasty. Are you planning to have some?
Oh, you bet. I'm here to make a food video and it seems like literally the name of every restaurant in this town is beer fish. Literally, the one behind me here, Pijiu. I can see like literally 3 restaurants in my line of vision that are called beer fish. So if I come here and don't eat beer fish, I don't think I can call myself a food blogger anymore.
I've got to follow a leader and I'm afraid that clearly it's me.
So beer fish is a Yangshuo absolute must-try dish, made from fresh fish from the Li River and fried with chili, tomato, and of course, beer.
So I'm not too sure what my plans are for tomorrow. I might rent a bicycle and go for a ride in the countryside, and I'm sure I'm gonna come across a lot of places that are selling beer fish, Pijiu. But I thought, since I'm right now in the main town of Yangshuo, where literally every restaurant is called beer fish, I feel like it's calling my name and I should probably have some beer fish right now, get the most popular dish out of the way so that tomorrow we can focus on some other things. So I'm standing in front of one restaurant right now. It's called Da Shifu Pijiu, and online it actually has 45,000 reviews. So I thought this is the place for me. Is it worth the hype? We're about to find out. I am literally foaming at the bit to try this Pijiu. It looks so amazing, vibrant colors. It looks like it's going to be sweet and sour just from the color of it. I'm curious to know how the beer is integrated and whether it will taste of beer. 你觉得我可以进去拍一下这个Pijiu是怎么做？特别想看。
可以啊。
哦，那拍
但是不能拍照啊。
不能拍照。
对。
哦。
不能拍照，只能看。
哦，只能看。Okay.
对对对。
Although I did take a little voice note from the back kitchen to help paint a little mental picture for you guys.
Oh, we have some spice going in, some fresh chili. It's green, it's red, it's swirling around in the pot with the fish. At what point will the beer go in?
That's the question on everyone's lips. Does beer go in beer fish?
Okay, now for the beer. Wow, a lot of beer. At least 1 litre of beer has gone into this pot.
I was actually surprised that there's actual beer in beer fish. I guess that would be kind of weird if there wasn't. But there was a lot of beer. As I said, at least 1 litre, maybe 1.5 litres. He really put in a big jug worth of it. And I was told that in the process of making this dish, that beer taste kind of goes away, and as well as the alcohol for that matter. So you will not get drunk from eating this dish.
The same can't be said for the beer it's made with though.
So this is the exact beer that goes into making this. 它叫什么这个啤酒？
梨泉啤酒。
梨泉啤酒。
对我们本地的。
Yum. And some of the other ingredients that go into making this, most notably the tomato, you've got chili, both green and red, you've got ginger, you've got garlic, and of course that fish that was killed right in front of me. Well, I guess I'll start with some of that. Oh, it's so tender. Look at this fish. I tried to pick it up with my chopsticks, but it just fell apart. Look at this. Bony. There is a comical amount of bones in there. I have to say, by the time I got to the end of picking those bones out, I kind of forgot what it actually tastes like. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of that sauce on its own so I can just taste the flavor. I wouldn't say it tastes like beer. The first thing that really hits me is it's salty, it's spicy. I chose for medium spice. You can choose your spice level, everything from like not spicy to medium spice to like high spice.
You've also got these big juicy pieces of tomato in there that are thrown into the wok right at the end so they retain their freshness and juiciness.
It goes so well with that sauce, which is very salty. One of my other favorite things about this dish is all these pieces of ginger inside. There is so much ginger in this. I love ginger, I'm a big ginger fan. When I cook, I put it in everything. And I love that it's been cooked for long enough that I can just eat it straight. And it's even better when you pair it with a little bit of that fish. I also find it very interesting how much of a monopoly this brand of beer fish has on this town of Yangshuo. Like, for example, I'm here sitting in a Da Shifu Pijiu, this brand of beer fish. And literally, right here, just opposite the road, this store here, it's another one. And what's even funnier is the waitresses are on the street from 2 competing chains of the same store, fighting for customers to come into their specific store, but it's both the same brand.
I was about halfway through when I felt like I really needed some rice to go with this spicy, salty goodness.
Because I just really love that sauce and I really love the tomato in it. And I just want that to be all together up in the business. I'm feeling very happy with that decision. Because it just soaks up all that delicious sauce. Otherwise I feel like that sauce is going to waste just sitting there. So after my beer fish and a couple of local beers, I hit the streets of Yangshuo, and I have to say it is a lot more lively at night. I also have to say beer makes you make bad decisions, and a bad decision I was indeed about to make. I may regret this, but I've always wanted to try.
Tell me, where are you from?
Australia.
Oh, I like Australia very much. You're from Sydney.
From Sydney.
Oh, big talk. My name is Forrest. Long TV station making my program.
Wow.
Beijing City TV, BBC.
So I wonder how mine is gonna come out.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. 我应该笑吗？还是 自然一点？
Yeah, like keep it natural.
Keep natural.
Oh, good, yeah.
Okay.
The model. Oh my God, it's good one. Okay, oh, like this one is okay.
So I did have a painting made of me only once before, and it didn't turn out so great. It was in Shenzhen, and they painted my face, and it was quite crazy.
So here's hoping this one turns out a little bit better. Also, at some point, without me asking, might I add, the two other artists started doing my portrait too.
Not only am I getting one portrait, but three, from three different angles. I do have to admit, it was a very, very fun process. We were having some great chats.
Oh, excuse me. I want Krutani.
It was a great ego boost. They were being very, very complimentary.
I like your accent.
You like my accent?
Yeah, your pronunciation very good.
And I was very excited to see the finished product of not one, but three self-portraits.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Background is Yangtze Moon here, Ni River, West Street, two birds from sky. Artist report by CCTV Yangtze.
For real, I don't really think that looks like me.
Honestly, I feel like the two other artists did a much better job.
Oh my goodness, look at this. That is absolutely beautiful. And a little man in the boat. Oh yeah. Oh, it's there. This is actually hilarious. So I may not have gotten my photo today with the 20 renminbi note, but I've got it in a painting.
It was all fun and games until it came time to pay.
So people told me many times to watch out for being cheated here in Yangshuo. They have this sign out the front of here, 30, 30, 30 renminbi. Get to the end of it, comes to the price, I'm about to send him 30 renminbi. He's like, oh, actually, no, this is 200 because he's given me the most expensive option. Suddenly, price list comes out. And he's like, oh, you got to pay 200 because you had color. And it doesn't look like this. You should have told me the price before.
Oh, sorry.
And now suddenly I'm paying three people 200. He wanted to charge me 200 renminbi for this? What is this? Who is this? I mean, does this look like me? I have to admit, my first reaction when I saw this revealed was, thank goodness this is only 30 renminbi. But then when he showed me the price list and he was like, oh, actually that'll be 200 renminbi, the way my jaw dropped to the floor, he told me this is the Moon Mountain and Xijie, the West Street, and two birds, as if, you know, he's painted a masterpiece. And I just went into this like state of shock because it was a very awkward situation because, you know, he's just been sitting there for the last 45 minutes working hard on this portrait. And I thought it was only going to be going for 10 minutes. That's what the sign said. I thought I was getting the 30 renminbi version. But as the time goes on, I just figured, oh, I guess, you know, he hasn't had many customers lately. He wants to do a good job and give me a nice memory of Yangshuo. I also really, really hate confrontation. And even though I felt like this was not worth 200 renminbi, I just threw some money at the problem. I got him to come down in price. I paid 100 renminbi for this, which I still think is very, very overcharged. And then I paid 30 renminbi for the others, which I think was pretty fair because I didn't ask for 3 portraits. I only asked for 1. The fact that they did it was up to them. But so I think giving them money was already very, very nice of me. But originally they wanted 100 for these as well. But I do have to say I like these ones a lot more, especially this one. How cute is this? He's really put such nice detail into that foreground and background. I also think I look the most like me in this one. This is what a bird should look like. And look, compare this bird work here. Look at these beautiful birds. This is the letter V. But I'm interested to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below which of these you like the best. So this is number 1, this is number 2, and this is number 3. Anyway, that was my first day in Yangshuo, a very memorable one to say the least, and I think today is going to be another very memorable day because today I'm eating the rest of what Yangshuo has to offer, and I'm doing it a little bit differently because I'm doing it on the back of a bike, which I am very nervous about because I haven't been on a bike in over 4 years, and the last time I was on a bike, this happened. So stay tuned for next video to see how that all goes. I'm about to go and get on my bike now, so feeling a little bit nervous. But yeah, if you're still here at the end of this video, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, please and thank you. Or if you feel so inclined, press that like button because it really helps the video reach more people and that also really helps me. So if you want to support this channel, please go ahead and subscribe, like and comment. As always, thanks for watching and goodbye from Yangshuo. See you guys next week. Bye!